Hello and welcome into clinical chemistry. In this lecture, I will talking about the GIT anatomy and physiology. GIT by meaning gastrointestinal tract anatomy and physiology. This lecture is presented by Dr. Zuhair. So, first start with what is the GIT? The GIT or gastrointestinal tract, also known as a digestive tract or digestional tract, in some references known as the gut or the alimentary canal. So it's an organ system within a human and other animal which take in foods to digest, extract, absorb energy and nutrition, and expel out the remaining as the waste or as the feces. So this is the GIT. So GIT is tract started from the mouth to the anus. All through these tubules contain some specialized cells that help to absorb and digest food. And this GIT tract is also known as the gut or alimentary canal. Well, these have a function by meaning take food to digest, to extract and absorb food for the body so as to use it as energy and to support as nutrition. The remain of this process after food digestion and absorbance, the remain is expelled out in the form as the feces or as stool. Gastrointestinal tract GIT forming continuous pathway that include the main organ of digestion. This organ of digestion is started by the mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and anus. So this is the GIT tract or the component of GIT tract. It started from the mouth to the anus. The complete human digestive system is made up of the gastrointestinal tract plus the accessory organs of digestion. These accessory organs of digestion, which include the tongue, salivary glands, pancreas, liver, and gallbladder. Hereby meaning these accessory organs also help to digest of food, and this is the main function of the GIT. So this accessory organ, which include tongue, that by moving the food down, and salivary gland, which include some specialized enzymes such as alpha amylase, which help to digest of carbohydrate, and pancreas, which release specific forms of enzyme which have a major function to digest of lipids, carbohydrates, and to increase their absorption, and liver and gallbladder, which is secreted by meaning here the bile acids. In this picture show us the GIT or alimentary canal started from the mouth, which have include accessories organs such as salivary gland, and when we come down to the pharynx, esophagus, stomach, pancreas, liver, gallbladder, here down to small intestine, and the small intestine which gradually converted to large intestine or by meaning colon, and the colon which contain the cecum, appendix, rectum, and at the end is the anus. The gastrointestinal tract contains trillions of microbes with some of 4,000 different strains of bacteria having a diverse roles in maintenance of immune and metabolism. Here, these bacteria or GIT microbes present in GIT, also known as the normal flora bacteria. And these normal flora bacteria have a diverse role in to maintain the body health and uh, help in some metabolism of foods. Cells of GIT tract release hormone to help regulate the digestive process. The digestive hormones include gastrin, secretin, cholecalcitonin, and ghrelin are mediated through either intracrine or autocrine mechanism. The anatomy of GIT is also divided into the upper gastrointestinal tract and lower gastrointestinal tract. So, what is the upper gastrointestinal tract? The upper is gastrointestinal tract, which consists of mouth, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, and duodenum. And the lower gastrointestinal tract, which include small intestine and large intestine. The exact discrimination between the upper and lower tract is the suspensory muscle of the duodenum. So here the duodenum is also differentiated between the upper and lower GIT due to discrimination of muscles in this duodenum, or known as suspensory muscle. The suspensory muscle is an important anatomical landmark which show the formal division between the duodenum and jejunum, by mean that after duodenum is the jejunum and ileum. The first and second part of small intestine respectively. So what is the intestine? The intestine or bowel or gut is a segment of gastrointestinal tract extending from the pyloric sphincter or of the stomach to anus. Consists of two segments, that is small intestine and large intestine. So when here I say the intestine is a segment of gastrointestinal tract which included the small and large intestine. In a human, the small intestine is further divided into duodenum, jejunum, and ileum, while the large intestine is subdivided to the cecum, ascending, transverse, descending, and sigmoid colon, so as end into the rectum or anal canal. Here, by mean the subdivided to the cecum, ascending, transferring, and descending. This according to the anatomical position of the large intestine. When I say ascending, that means come up right, and transferring my meaning on the horizontal, and descending that become come down as a descending part. So is a direction or anatomical position of this large intestine, and the end of this large intestine is also known as the anal canal. Small intestine begin at duodenum and in a tubular structure usually between 6 and 7 meter long. Its mucosal area in an adult human is about 30 meters. Its main function is absorb product digestion. Small intestine is also divided into duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. And this small intestine length about 30 meter and have a major function so as to digest of carbohydrate, proteins, and vitamins. and classified into three major divisions as I mentioned. The number one is duodenum in the small intestine, or the first part of small intestine is the duodenum, and it is the short structure about 20 to 25 centimeter long, which receive chyme here by mean the food or digest food from the stomach, together with pancreatic juice contain digestive enzyme and bile and from the gallbladder. The digestive enzyme break down protein and bile emulsified fat into muscles. This here by meaning in the process of lipids digestion after the lipids intake in the small intestine, this first part, uh, the liver or gallbladder is secrete which is known as the bile acids or bile salts, and this help to digest and emulsify of lipids so as to be easy absorbed, and this process known as the emulsification. Uh, Emulsification by meaning the breakdown of lipids into small missiles. The duodenum contains pineal gland which produce muscle-rich alkaline secretion containing bicarbonate. This secretion is combined with bicarbonate from the pancreas to neutralize the stomach acid contained in a chyme. Also in the duodenum, the food come from the stomach is highly acidic, contain high amount of HCl. So as in the duodenum, this food, the pH is converted to alkaline due to small intestine secreted bicarbonate, and this carbonate is also secreted by the pineal gland, which convert the acidity to alkali medium. This bicarbonate is also neutralize the stomach acid contained in the chyme. The second part of small intestine is the jejunum. This is the midsection of the small intestine connecting the duodenum and the ileum. It is about 2.5 meter long and contain the circular folds, also known as applies circulus, and villi that increase the surface area. Produce or product of digestion, sugars, amino acids, and fatty acids are absorbed in the bloodstream here in this part of the jejunum. The last part of small intestine is known as the ileum. This final section of small intestine, it is about 3 meter long and contain villi smaller to the jejunum. It is absorbed mainly vitamin B12 and bile acid, as well as any other remaining nutrition. The large intestine is the second or large part of the GIT that is a large, also called a colon, consists of the cecum, rectum, and anal canal. It is also include the appendix which attached to the cecum. The main function of the large intestine is to absorb water. The area of the large intestine mucosa of adult human is about 2 meters. In this slide show the many type of difference of digestive enzyme and their location in GIT, and the name of this enzyme and which the action of this enzyme and the location of enzyme which is secreted. So here all the secreted enzymes by releasing stimuli and their action and which they are target to produce. Here plus hormone enzyme plus hormone work in the GIT. In this slide, there is a table show the pancreatic digestive enzyme started from the amylase, lipase, glucose, phosphatase, and cholesterol esterase, trypsin, chymotrypsin, and carbohydrate peptidase. All these are enzymes secreted by pancreas and The substrate, name of substrate worked by this enzyme and with their major function. The gastrointestinal tract function. First, ingestion of food. Digestion by meaning mechanical digestion of food particles, breakdown of food particles. Have a motility function by mean movement of organ and foods, mechanical digestion of food particles. Have a secretion function by meaning secretion of digestive juice, chemical digestion of food particles, and have absorbance or absorption function by meaning absorbance of digestion of products such as sugars, proteins, amino acids, lipids, and so as to carry it into the blood and lymphatic vessels. Have a storage and elimination function and non-digestional food particles. Have a protective function, mechanical, chemical, and immunological function. That by meaning also the GIT contain highly in the stomach highly acidity pH, which can kill more of these microbes, and then become down to highly alkaline pH, and this also can kill off some microbes. So against the potential harmful food component. The gastrointestinal tract function that the time take food to other ingest objects and trans through the gastrointestinal tract varies depend on many factors, but roughly it takes less than 1 hour after a meal. That by mean when we take a food after 1 hour, the food become digested and absorbed. 50% of stomach content empty to the intestinal, while total emptying takes around 2 hours. Subsequently, 50% of emptying the small intestine takes between 1 to 2 hours. Finally, transient through the colon take 12 hours with wide variation between individuals. This percentage and time show us the process or the food takes time in the GIT, for beginning from the digestion to the expelled out as feces. Immune function, we have a fundamental function of the GIT by protection and provided protection against microbes, and this also done by the intestinal mucosa work at a barrier which composed of a physical and biochemical and immune elements so as to be a protective organ. There is additional factor contributing and protection from pathogenic invasion, for example low pH, mucus, other factors such as GIT tract contribution and immune function. Intestinal bacteria, by meaning here the normal flora bacteria, which can serve and prevent the overgrowth of potentially harmful bacteria in the gut. Detoxification and drug metabolism. So this is the end of these lectures, uh, the physiology and anatomy of GIT and the function of the GIT tract. Thank you very much.